Well, when it comes to sharing data, I'd probably have to use the word challenges plural. I think that there's more than one challenge. I think at one level, the data is very poorly kept. It sits on spreadsheets, it sits on bits of paper that may have been scanned into a PDF, but structured, consistent data is not very, very available when it comes to real estate. I think another problem is actually the market probably doesn't want to share the data at the moment. It seems there are financial incentives to keeping hold of the data. I think everybody thinks that they own the data when perhaps do they? Whose data is it anyway? Somebody does a valuation and the bank thinks they own the valuation report with all the evidence in it. So I think there's a number of factors that stop data flowing around. People say data is the new oil, but actually oil flows very freely, but data doesn't. And the third thing probably is that there is a lack of consistency just in the format. If you're going to share data, everybody around the world is building their own version of what that data should look like. What do you call it? What do you label it? Which is why we need a common data model so we can begin to exchange data. Well, it's one of these things where we're always out talking to the marketplace. My colleague Marianne, who's our country manager in Switzerland, we set up a leaders forum, which is our way of talking to the marketplace, exploring what they're up to, what we're trying to do. And we held a forum in Zurich, I think it was early last year. One of the people there was from Pomplus. They made the connection, obviously, with BuildingMinds, and we began to talk, and we discovered that we had a very shared endeavour. We have a public interest mandate. BuildingMinds and Microsoft want to build an open model for the good of the industry and then layer their services on top. So we were very happy to collaborate. And when we began to get this idea of this international building operations standard, they seemed a natural partner to help us co-create that, work with the market, get their feedback, and use the common data model as a foundation for the KPIs, the measures that we want to put into that standard. We have to share data, it's coming, it will happen, and that actually there's more value in the way you analyse the data, that actually keeping the data to yourself, I think no longer will have any value. The value comes when you put data together, you aggregate, you compare, you benchmark, and that what people should charge for and what they should feel has value is that analytical skill, making sure that actually you can derive meaningful information and decisions from a data set. The data itself, I think, will become increasingly seen as not being owned by anybody. It needs to be protected, but it should be seen as an asset that everybody should then do their analytics on top to drive better outcomes.